What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your solo cash cup performance by analyzing top NA West Pro NRG EpikWhale and how he dominated the first solo tournament of the new season, the Streamer Bowl. But before I get into this VOD for you guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code TALON.FN in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen, we have EpikWhale's POV. This is going to be an 18 kill victory royale in the first game of the Streamer Bowl, and we're going to just dive into all of the eliminations that he gets. We're going to be starting here with the second elimination. The first elimination for some reason really didn't render too well in this particular mode, but let's just jump in here with this elimination. You're going to kind of see the problem already that with Chapter 3 in terms of just meta. Now you see here, we get nice piece control, 63, we get a full piece and everything. Great job of taking it back, 22 up close. Now, Inspire Classic, he ends up nearly losing this fight, really trusting his aim with a really bad gun. You definitely do not want to have a Ranger. He was playing incredibly aggressive here. With that, we saw the piece control, but we saw not a lot of significantly heavy shots. Even EpikWhale apparently preferring this striker over the auto. We're going to kind of fast forward here, if we can, and get into the next engagement. He's going to be taking a car and going all over the map, getting into different engagements. Now this guy is going to be so free here. Nothing much to say other than good use of the slide mechanic. Going downhill is the only time you'll actually gain distance. And then again, like, there's some of this trouble rendering early on. Remember, it is Streamer Bowl, open to anybody, so you're going to get some just not very talented players. But 3 kills quickly, early off spawn, and we've already seen kind of Striker now MK as opposed to really taking that Ranger not being meta, one of the worst guns in my opinion in a long time because of basically its comparison. Now he's gonna roll up here. I don't know how he knew that. You can hear him. There is this opponent here. You're gonna see him do a good job of getting piece control here, not psychoing in, trying to make things difficult, trying to get pieces in there. Doesn't want to get stingered. You have to be very cautious, especially in situations where people are kind of hiding and ratting. And you're going to see, again, kind of the same issues that kind of plagued earlier in that earlier engagement. This opponent is just kind of creeping around. And you're going to see EpikWhale is going to do a nice right-hand peek. Very cautious. Is waiting for the opponent to kind of edit out. More than likely has a stinger. Now right here, this is super important. He places his own cone so the opponent can't ramp over him. He has all the pieces. Look, 21, again, not a lot of damage. He gets a cone in. 76, a little bit better. Misses a shot. And then backs out of the way to get away from the stinger, right? Know that immediately, especially when you're having wood piece control. If you're a high ping player too, you maybe just want to box up from a different angle. Now we kind of see he gets the cone in there. Now this is kind of unfortunate because it's no choice but a left-hand peek. But he gets the kill, and now you're going to see him. He's going to then switch to that said stinger. Obviously, with it being meta, so no surprise, but just good cautiousness, right? Understanding that opponent is probably just going to run at him with a stinger, and you see him back off as soon as he starts spraying, right? Giving him a nice escape route. That's incredibly important, especially if you're going to play with an older type play style, which we saw right there with just kind of piece control in the shotgun, because that really does not matter for the most part this season with how strong and unbalanced the SMGs are at this current moment in the season. All is obviously subject to change, but doesn't mean. And again, you're going to see a nice little funny kill here in a second. He's driving up. This is such a good use of the car, too, to go. So he catches this other person in a car. And then Stinger 200-0. The guy's, probably some 3-year-old. But running in one of the best Fortnite players of all time. And then he uses this car just to go all around. He has multiple games. So right here, spraying through. And then you kind of get in trouble with that sometimes, especially when you're facing an MK as well. He's trying his absolute hardest to get this big off. Can't do that. Now switches to hard mats. Feels like he can do that. So what ends up happening, that person screws up the Spider-Man. I now just saw it. Screws up the Spider-Man because I was like, he didn't hit him that much. He screws up the Spider-Man, which I was very surprised. He actually doesn't take this. Spider-Man's a fantastic thing for rotation ends game. Probably the first game in Streamer Bowl. I was again then surprised he didn't take it, getting in those certain engagements. He doesn't. But just good shots in and the opponent just kills himself. Maybe also that thing is not comfortable with that yet at this current moment when the Streamer Bowl occurred. So maybe not using it, but it's literally one of the best rotational items. Now this is going to be a colossal just kind of engagement. Good recognition that opponent is only on one wall right there. And then you're going to see this is what ends up happening. You're going to see him just get fried over and over and over and over. And he goes for one more attempt right here, a pickaxe bait. And then once he doesn't get it, he backs off very smartly. EpikWhale, what I was really impressed with is the way he uses his mats to create space and create angles. Making sure he covers all his angles there, reloads. And you're going to see him still with 134 push, and then he's going to get fried once again. Doing a good job. Look at all the space he's created, but he still has 900 mats. That's what I thought was something incredibly important. He's just kind of waiting this through, and this fight kind of just drags and drags and drags and drags. And this is exactly what you don't want to be. And a lot of people are going to be here. And I'm going to show all of it because there's a significant amount. Now, you notice that's on one wall, and he's going to go for an exact play on that. And now he sees the two people there. He's going to push this one. He's got a little bit of chip damage. Covers up his angles. And then you hear someone else coming in with a Spider-Man. Full boxes. Now I love this angle. Notice how he full boxes here. Now the only thing the opponent has is the floor. And we've seen how important the movement angles. He goes on a left-hand peek. Hugs the wall. Now just misses the shot, but that was a very intelligent edit and intelligent peek. Right here. Nice little pickaxe bait. Good crosshair placement, trying to get this opponent to edit. Doesn't end up happening. Does a great job right here. Recognition, one of the best things you can do. Again, in that situation, when they have that peanut butter, you just force that ramp in there. It makes them incredibly uncomfortable. Most of the time, you'll get them either editing down or out, and you just do that. Take good advantage. So nice pickup. And he staved off a lot of third parties, a lot of pressure. Oh, that was so good. I'll just talk about it a little bit. Just that bait out. Now, this was a little bit of a kind of a 50-50 right there. And look, he gets fried again. And now he knows he's going to get chased, but great job of using his mats. Creating space. Gets one mini off at least. Now he gets the opponent to overstretch. Fantastic work right there. We're just going to go over that engagement again, what I just want to talk about. He gets the opponent to overstretch. He actually wants that. One, he's trusting his aim here in this situation. Now, I know it's going to sound a little bit funny, right? But he makes sure he gets a lot. He gets 2 layers, gets 1 mini off, and the opponent's coming in, right? And so he creates an escape route. He scuffs the edit, holds the wall, is able to get it. I don't know if the opponent stole it from him or not, but what he does here is then basically the opponent overstretches. Right hand peek, crack shield. Now takes the wall and the opponent just runs at him. Very intelligent. And then gets the pickaxe, staves off a very unfortunate situation. Now we're going to kind of move on forward here. Get into his next engagement, just a lot of third parties, a lot of pressure. Now this opponent, I believe, is just going to get fried out of the air, if I remember correctly. I'll just kind of skip through. Yes, the kill is eventually going to get stolen. And then a good use of the slide mechanic. Again, you will gain speed doing it while going down. There we see the hip fire. Now we're going to see a different chain. I think this is meta 2 heal MK and Stinger, but he actually switches to something else. This is why the Stinger is so broken. It's bleed through damage, incredibly hard to deal with. It doesn't matter what type of material it is, bleed through damage. When you're getting pressure with a Stinger, you want to make sure that you at least have 2 pieces between you and who's ever spraying you. Good high wall. Now the opponent's getting third partied as well. Just shooting right where the opponent is doesn't hurt. We see the zone wars on display. Oh, man. If I want to talk to you how great that was, man, let's watch that in slow motion. Oh, that's... He has him trapped, and then he just kind of baits him, and when the opponent doesn't edit out or doesn't edit down, he goes down and forces that play, right? So let's go. Let's watch it here again. So he's getting a little bit third party, 21 again. You've seen him get lasered all day. This is why the W King this season, in my opinion, is so difficult to be so consistent with just this amount of spray, especially with the MK having no bloom. Now we see kind of the Zone Wars retake on display. Very nice. Jump to the side, ramp. Now you're going to see here, he gets the cone in. Not even really on purpose, but he phases that cone and he actually traps him in perfectly. And instead of going for the wall, he does the next smartest thing. What is that opponent more than likely going to do? Probably just edit down. So let's just create a nice little full box. And actually he had both pieces. The opponent's trying to break through. Very smart. And then just creates a little box. The opponent's looking lost. Very intelligent play, not 50-50, and again, even at a bit, once you see that stinger, it's no more of that. Just, you see, sure, some shotgun play, but man, in those certain situations, when you're up close, just spraying, it just absolutely shreds. So great stuff from EpikWhale there. We're going to again fast forward, kind of get into his next engagement. We're sitting here at a 9 kills. Alright, we're going to see him get some nice chip damage to start off here. A conserved pad. Opponent hits him for a little bit. We're going to see some very good mechanics play. I say that. He messes up. Good escape route. Now the opponent just runs right through. I think this surprised the opponent, honestly. I just want to kind of go back and honestly look, because I think the opponent was just as surprised as he was that he was in the box. I think it's just, this is so important, having that escape route this season, right? When he gets in this situation right here, he pickaxe bait, the opponent actually just cyclically runs at him, right? And he's off a chili, so he's pretty fast. He resets. I don't know how this opponent gets through. Ah, he gets third-partied from someone else, and the wall gets shot at, allowing the opponent to run through. And look, the opponent's in build mode. Doesn't even know what happens. And sometimes that's the way it is. And again, just good crossing, good tracking. I mean, if you're a controller player, it's not even that good, unfortunately, due to the nerf with aim assist. However, mouse and keyboard need to be focusing heavily on tracking this season with the current meta the way it is. I think it's an absolute necessity to have good aim this season. Like I said, shotgun play not being that important. Now, we see him fly on this opponent. Fantastic. Pickaxe baiting right there. They trade shots, and then he just gets right in. But you need to make sure, if you're going to be hopping onto people's 2x2s and 1x1s, to make sure that they're not hiding in cones, and that's exactly why you see too many people go up there double swing. You want to bait it first. If not, then spray through or get them to edit out, whatever works for you. But you see right there, he baited them out, they traded, and then just significantly better aim, confidence in the shotgun. You're going to see him now run up onto another fight here. Now he hears someone down in wood, so that's who he wants to push. Sitting on a right-hand peak. He gets the wall. Now there's going to be a lot of people here as well. Trying to make sure he covers his head. Does what he can. Now the opponent and there's the escape route importance right there. Avoid a very scuffed situation. Now the opponent launch pads. He goes, nah, I'm going to focus on this other opponent. Now this opponent actually does a great job of cracking his shield. And then look at how good the mechanics are. No panic, no wasted builds. Get a flopper off. Oh, that peak is so good. Yeah, let's just go over it again. This is an advanced piece control move that is almost every professional player does. This exact move that we just saw here from EpikWhale. You need to be implementing this into your repertoire of moves. So one, we just see good use of mats, especially on a very bad layer. Like, look how congested this layer is, how uncomfortable this is. He gets up immediately onto a clear layer, so he has as much space. Make sure he covers everything. He gets one flop off. Now right here, the opponent goes up, he holds, so he flips the ramp up and exits out the other way. And so hopefully what ends up happening is this opponent will come into his box being over aggressive, and then he gets a wall actually, and does kind of the same thing. He flipped up, reset, then put this down. Gets a little bit of chip damage, and then make sure he replaces the cone in case the opponent can't get the ramp over him. Now the opponent's stuck underneath his own cone. Times it perfectly, waits till the opponent is switching. 119, and then he's going to then spray through. The opponent's probably waiting for a shotgun edit. Why do that when you could just spray through a very just advanced play, especially with 77 HP, just showing off why one of the best players in the world. Now, we're going to fast forward here into this last little section where he kind of pops off here. 12 kills, but he's going to go very hard. Now this opponent's going to rift away. He's going to get a lot of spray damage, and he's going to do a launch pad, la-di-da-di-da, if I remember correctly. This guy goes on a launch pad once or twice, and the guy literally is just chasing him for his life. But we're going to get into some more engagement, don't worry. Covering his head, making sure, just a little minor thing right there, but knows that there's a guy in there, and so he covers his head. Now he does find him eventually. He hears that opponent to his left. He starts cranking. Retake. Notice how he's covering off that side where he heard that opponent was. And then he full boxes. Now the opponent's sitting on his own stuff. He gets some good chip damage, and as soon as chip damage, it's immediate time with the stinger. Opponent not being aware that he's in Epic's builds. Notice right here again, space. Look at this space. Blocking off angles. He knows there's someone up there in the build. He creates space, a backward space, so the opponent can't piece control him. He's playing one box away. And then, like what I talked about earlier, remember when I said I think it was meta to do MK Stinger? If you get 2 gold Stingers, this is also a very viable option. 60 of these is fantastic, and Stingers are good at mid-range. Sprays through, opponent moves, and this is what I was talking about, that bleed-through damage. No other gun, probably except for pre-nerf P90, have this amount of bleed-through damage. Now, you see this opponent gets third party in the back. He lets him then come through, more than likely at health advantage. Gets that pickup as well. Guy had a lot of fish. Sits there in a right peak. Now, bad reload management, maybe when the reload bug was there. And notice covering his angles. Gets it first try. Now with wood sprays, you see him piece control right here. He gets the back one as well. And this time doesn't even worry about the chip damage. And look at that. Having both of them, good recognition. Now with the MK nerf being a thing as well, I think this is also a very, very viable strategy. Do that. You see come and cluster there, crack, 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 get him down low, and then just switch to the other one and finish up the job. But a little bit more of a 50-50 than what we're typically seeing with no shotgun use. It was probably the fight where he took the most amount of damage, right? It was pure 50-50 and confidence in your aim. Now, only 4 other opponents remain. We got 15 kills. He's going to end up getting 3 more here. We're just going to kind of leave it on. Launch pad's over. Now, we notice this guy up there. He immediately goes to push. Now, the opponent sprays him through. Now, that opponent actually gets taken out by someone else. A little bit unfortunate, right? And that's, again, the Stingers can be dangerous. There can be so many times where you just die just by someone ratting around just because they laser you. Again, praying for nerfs. I know all of the community is as well. Takes the flopper for the extra 20. Now this person is obviously playing without a headset. This guy gets full piece, 41, and then fantastic finishing up with the SMG afterwards. You see meta being played here very well. Now 2 opponents left. Does a great job recognizing that opponent sitting there in a cone. Immediately cuts him off. It's now a 1v1, and he gets into a pretty decent build battle. Now he's cap mats. He's got 2 refreshes. He could definitely afford to do this. They're going to kind of do that for a while. They're going to fly around. Epic is obviously going to come on top. You see the mechanics on display. Doesn't get anything. And creating all these angles, right-hand peaks. Mechanics on display, nearly full pieces. I don't think he got that wall. Gets it right here. Maybe just going for a whoopty clip. Now the person Spider-Man's away. Epic decides, okay, I'm going to pad. Gets over there. Still has 43 bills. Just such efficient math usage in his retakes. Nothing is wasted. Like I said, especially in this season, Spider-Man very good for rotation, but launch pad still being a thing. Chili's pepper still being a thing. He's doing this exactly right, pressuring, trying to cut him off. Now the opponent reads that beautifully, actually. Very good read from the opponent. The person he's fighting is not bad at all. Recognizing that Epic was going to come down there, pre-fires that angle for a good 90-ish crack. Using the chili chugs, and then you see, again, the strength. And then the opponent's running out of mats. Trust his aim, 18 kills, and that is going to do it for the EpikWhale VOD review. Overall, again, we saw a little bit of just the importance of the meta. We saw how piece control, while still being very important, is nowhere near as big a deal this season because it is all about that Stinger SMG. You saw EpikWhale piece control people multiple times and just hit nothing with the shotguns because they've just been taken down so much. So I know that a lot of the time, yes, going for piece control is great, but just be aware that that shotgun is like what your SMG used to be. Your shotgun is for chip damage. Your finisher is that Stinger SMG. And you saw even in before in that first engagement with him using that Ranger assault rifle, lucky, very lucky, those hip fire taps ended up working for him. Very good aim obviously there, but that's not meta. You want to get rid of that gun as soon as possible. I think true, if you want to succeed this season in Cash Cups, one, obviously I would be taking Spider-Man. I would definitely not be leaving Spider-Man, and we saw him, if you're wanting a W key, another great way to do it is drive around in those cars, and we saw them again, Stinger SMG at this current point with how strong it is, no reason not to take one. You have to take at least one. We saw Epic do two. I think you can even make an argument for the MK. It does more damage up close, and you got that no hipfire. Even with the hipfire recoil, it's still not horrendous up close, especially if you're barrel stuffing. But guys, that is going to do it for today's VOD review. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.